Okay, yeah. So I just want to go over entries for today. I didn't get to trade much. I had a trade in the morning, and that was it. But I think it's always good to look at it after the fact and say, okay, um, where was the entries? Why did you miss them? And just learn from it. And that way we can also help each other to spot it. So right here, I'm just gonna bring up SPX 2 minutes. Hey, obviously there was a lot of consolidation, a lot of chop. So it wasn't a great day to trade. But I do want to point out some obvious things. So obviously in the morning, with a strong move up, if you chased it, you would have made some money if you sold soon enough. I mean, if you held onto it, obviously in retrospect, you made money. But we had the fire on top of SPY and as well as VIX, but those are not the good entries. The good entries. So if you look at this, we came down, we bounced off VWAP quite a bit, and then we got uh, blue and then a yellow triangle. Okay, and actually, I'm going to open it up so that we have SPX here at the bottom, and I'm gonna like get the crosshair. Yeah, so I'm recording it for the ones that cannot make it. But so down here, I'm gonna go. So I have 2 minutes at the top. I have 1 minute chart at the bottom, and so we'll just wait for it to update. So on the 1 minute, you got call signal here as well. And I don't look at the 1 minute much, but sometimes it does give you a little bit of extra info. But if you look at this on the 2 minute, which is the primary chart we look at, you can see a lot of chop. You saw some downside. Now the blue triangle, obviously, we're above the 48 EMA. We're above a green EMA cloud. So you shouldn't be taking puts when you're a, when you're bullish. Okay. So you get in, you get chop, you get a blue triangle. You're gonna ignore it. Okay. You don't want to play the downside. You get a yellow triangle. You get in. Great run. Okay. Now, here was a little bit of consolidation, so you probably, you probably locked in most of your profits, kept some runners, and then as soon as you get the blue triangle, you should be out of this trade. Now, again, I don't think it's a good idea to play against the trend. So if you got in for puts here, you would have made some really good money. But the better play would be to wait until you bounce off the VWAP. Okay. So we got close to the VWAP sideways, and then when we got here, we bounced off the VWAP. But it was a lot of chop. So this wasn't a great entry per se, but you bounced off the VWAP. You could have taken this again and made some money. We got to the top. You could have played puts, but again, it's counter trend at this point. And honestly, at this point, it's sideways action. So there's really no trend. So you could have said, okay, it's sideways action. I want to take one contract and play puts. But the better play would be when you see it approach the 48 EMA down here, you're like, okay, if it's going to bounce here, I'm going to get into calls, okay? Because we're still above the 48 EMA, so we're still bullish biased. So this was an entry that we as a team should not miss. Okay, when we bounce off the 48 EMA, we should be getting into calls collectively. Now, if it's like a dead cat bounce, it bounds and then it falls down, you're just going to stop out. And when that happens, you can immediately turn around to play puts. But this is a very important entry that I want you guys to start watching for. When we bounce off the 48 EMA or reject the 48 EMA, we should be, everyone should be saying, hey, this is what's happening. Let's get into calls or puts if it's the other direction. So that would have been a great play. You got in, made some money, blue triangle, you're out. Probably took some profits on this long candle because these long candles are, the ones that you want to take profit on. And then, again, you have a put. You're not going to play counter trend, so you get it. But then here's the second entry I want you guys to look for. So number one is you bounce off the 48 EMA. The second one is you bounce off the VWAP. When you see these, I want you to see it as a great entry. And if you're wrong, you stop out. It's very easy. If it bounces and then it turns around, goes the other way, you're out. Okay. But when you see a big candle like this, you see big candles like this, these are entries worth getting into. And so if you got into that, again, nice ride. Here we have another bounce off the VWAP, but it's at the end of the day, the last half an hour is very risky to trade. So that's all I wanted to just cover and make sure that you guys, so obviously we have the bot telling us stuff. It was very choppy today, so it wasn't very good signals from the bot. We had, the triangles, which, in the morning it was very good, afternoon sideways, but when it's sideways, this. But on top of that, you got to watch for these important pivot levels where we could see a price bounce. So I just wanted to cover that, make sure everyone knows to look for those, and that's going to help you get some good entries. Any question, Mr. Vic?
No, that was about it. There were some.
Yeah, and to catch these, you kind of have to sit in front of the charts, so they're much harder to catch. Because there's no alert going off right now telling you that. At some point, I hope to have code that will, get our attention of these things. But it's easy to say, hey, I'm interacting with the VWAP, but you want to keep the alarms to a minimum so that you don't get people annoyed with alarms going off and then nothing happens. So you want to make sure that there's a clear bounds of 48 EMA, VWAP, etc. So I just need to tune the code a little bit, and then I'll be adding that to the alerts. So that, but again, I just wanted to point out some obvious places that we should be looking for. If you're sitting in front of the charts, if someone is not, that's fine. But if we collectively do it, then when someone is staring at the charts and seeing these bounces, then they could alert everyone else, and we could get more people to get into these trades. Okay, so I don't have any appointments tomorrow, so I hope to be